Right, so welcome to an introductory little 20-minute yoga session. So just to start with, what we're looking for is a little, comfortable seated position. So we want a little bit of a lift into the chest space, roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. Start to bring a little bit of a lift through the top of the head as well on that inhale, and then on that exhale, we might bring hands to knees. You might have the hands in the lap. We're looking for just the most comfortable way that you can sit cross-legged. And then you may even close the eyes for a couple of moments. And then we're going to focus on the breath to start with. So nice and slowly, inhaling, looking for that lift into the chest, the top of the head. And then gently exhaling and feeling those shoulders move down away from the ears on your exhale. And then just looking for a little bit of a deeper exhalation. So you might find it's 1 or 2 seconds, but on your exhale, you feel like the knees just got a little bit heavier. The sit bones each got a little bit heavier as well. And then the exhalation lasts 1 or 2 seconds longer. So just give yourself 2 or 3 breaths before we bring any movement into the practice, just to focus on the breath. So gently breathing in, no sense of control in the breath, we just want to breathe completely normally, and then you're looking for that 1 or 2 second extra length into that exhalation. Great, so we're just settling in, grounding into the practice. Then on your next inhale, we'll start to take a little bit of movement. So you're going to bring both the arms up into the air above you. Gently exhale, find the shoulders sliding down the back, so we keep that space in between both ears, and then nice and slowly you're going to bring right arm towards left knee. Top hand can come back behind you. Just take a little bit of effort into the back hand to help support the chest, so we've got this lift into the top of the head. Gently inhale, top of the head gets nice until gently exhale, maybe the gaze comes over that left shoulder. We've got this sense of heaviness, especially into the right knee. Just breathe nice and evenly. On your exhale, you might find that gaze comes a little bit closer over the left shoulder. Then gently inhale. Just make sure it's nice and comfortable into the back. Lift both arms up nice and tall. Big exhale. We're going to draw opposite hand behind you. Left hand over right knee. And then just take the gaze over as far as it wants to go towards the right shoulder. A couple of breaths on the inhale. Top of the head gets nice and tall. Pressing out, open that chest space as well. A little bit of effort into the back hand to help support the back. So we're thinking about the back being tall and long. And on your exhale, you might find there's a little bit more of a twist to bring it into the back. And then on your next inhale, we'll take the arms back round, bring them up into the air. And then this time I'm going to take them forward. Just interlace the fingers together. Turn the palms up the other way so they're kind of pressing away from you. And then we'll take the hands up nice and tall, gently exhale, release the shoulders back down as far as they want to go. Just turn the middle part of the chest around towards the right hand side, so it's just tracking over that right knee. Big inhale, big exhale, release into those shoulders, and then we'll gently turn the chest around. Lead with the chest, take that over towards the left knee this time. Just find that space. While you're keeping these hands as best as you can above the head, so the temptation is to have them creep forwards. We're going to keep them nice and tall. Big exhale. Release the chest forwards. Take both the hands back down towards the mat. Give yourself just a couple of rolls of the shoulder backwards. And then nice and slowly we'll inhale. Take the hands up. This time you're going to bring the fingers to interlace again, but then bring the opposite thumb on top so that all the fingers kind of drop down a notch. Take the palms out the other way to bring them up above the head again, and then this time we'll start with the left knee. So middle part of the chest just lines up with that left knee. Bring the hands as far as you can up above the head, and then just gently swing around and exhale. Look for that middle part of the chest just to line with the right knee. Big inhale, big exhale. We'll release the hands down, and then I'm going to swap across the legs over, so just bring the opposite leg in front, roll shoulders back and down a couple of times. Keep this lift into the chest. Always tempting to kind of close forwards. We're looking for this lift, keeping nice and tall through the top of the head. This time the hands come up nice and high. Big inhale, big exhale. You're going to bring left hand down onto the mat and then just gently swing over into the side bend. So you can stay nice and even into the side bend. You're looking for a little bit of a length or stretch into this right side body. You might find it's nice to stay there, or we could open the chest out, bring the right hand back behind you, and then this right chest opens out towards the ceiling. Great, so give it a couple of breaths here. Nice heaviness stays into both the sit bones, both the knees, and then you're going to draw this hand back, come into that side bend, gently inhale, lift the hands up high. Big inhale, big exhale, we'll take the opposite hand over, just reach. Feel that nice big stretch into the left side body this time. And then gently exhaling, you might bring left hand back behind you. You're going to find that space into the chest. Gaze might come up towards the ceiling. You can also look back behind or towards the back hand if that's comfortable. Big inhale, big exhale. Just draw that back into your little side bend. And then from the side bend, we're going to inhale, bring the hands up high. Reach. Gently exhale, let those shoulders release as far down as you can. Find a little bit of length through both parts of the side body this time, so we're trying to bring the head to be as tall as possible. Big inhale, big exhale. We'll release the hands down. We're going to uncross the legs. We'll just stretch the feet out in front of you for a couple of moments. Just have the hands back to support, so we're just taking a bit of length into the hamstrings. Really draw those toes up towards you. And then we're going to bend the legs, draw ourselves over and come through to all fours. So, when you come through to all fours, we're looking for the hands to be underneath the shoulders, and you want the knees underneath hips. A little bit of weight comes through the tops of the feet as well, but we're just trying to root down through the hands as much as possible. So it's really the other side of the knuckles and the base of the thumb that takes most of the weight. So it doesn't feel like we're crashing into the wrists, and it doesn't feel like your wrists throb or ache, especially after being in all fours or in downward facing dog or whatever it is. You really want that rooted effort to come from the kind of more comfortable parts of the hand rather than just putting all the weight into the wrists, because that's going to hurt. So gently pressing out of the way, we want a little bit of a doming effort into the top of the back, so it doesn't feel like we've got this dip into the shoulder blades. We're nice and pressing firm into the mat. A little bit of effort through the tops of the feet, and then we're going to gently press away, exhale, into your cat, and then gently inhale, roll the tailbone the other way, raise the gaze into your cat. So nice and slow, just rolling through. You're going to really try to focus on each vertebrae in the back. So you're imagining that move round as you raise the gaze. And then gently exhale, press down into the mat, into your cat pose. And then have a little check. Are the tops of the feet lightly engaged into the mat? Does it feel like we've still got these knuckles down? Does it feel like all the weight suddenly crashed into the wrist again? So we're constantly moving the attention around the body. And then we're bringing that attention back to the breath as well. So if we ever lose track of the breath, we'll bring that attention back so that we're breathing nice and evenly. Doesn't feel like we're straining. And then once you're nice and slowly evened out, we'll come back to a nice neutral position. You're going to just walk the hands a little bit further forwards. So we've kind of taken the weight almost a few inches further forward. So it feels like the shoulders are directly above the hands now. We've created this nice line from a kind of knee through to hip to shoulder. So we've activated into the hand, we're coming into a halfway plank. Might feel good just to stay here, and then you'll kind of work with that effort into the arms, and then you can always come back for a bit of a break. Otherwise, we'll keep that forwards. If you want a tiny bit more, you're going to tuck the toes, swing up the knees, so we've got this nice line from heel to hip to shoulder, right way to the top of the head. So the temptation is to have the hips a little bit higher, or a little bit too low, because that is way easier to support. So we've got a nice solid plank, nice long line, couple of breaths, and then we're going to gently inhale, swing the hips up and over back behind you. So look for a little bit of a lift into the hips, just start to gently pedal through the feet, so you're in downward facing dog pose now, lifting up the hips as high as you can. And then just see if those knuckles have started to come up at all. Does it feel like we're really crashing into the wrists, or does it feel like you've got that solid foundation with flat hands? Big inhale, big exhale. We'll just release, bring one knee down to the mat, followed by the other one into your all fours. You can either come back to those cat-cows, or you might just draw big toes together, knees as wide as the mat, and then swing the hips back to release yourself into child's pose. So you can keep the hands forwards, top of the head might release down onto the mat, and then just let both the arms be nice and heavy into the mat. So breathing nice and evenly. You're going to see if you can take a sense of broadness into the back body when you inhale, and then gently exhale, let the chest be nice and heavy down into the mat. So breathing as evenly as you like. And then gently, we'll just start to inhale, reawaken the arms. We're going to take the top of the head up again. Start to swing the hips up and forwards through to your all fours. So just gain that sense of evenness into your all fours. And then we're going to head back into downward facing dog pose. So start to tuck the toes, swing the hips up. You might have a couple of breaths in your plank again. You can take yourself up into your downward facing dog. This time just let the head be nice and heavy, keeping the hands nice and flat, pedaling through the feet. You're welcome to bend the knees if there's any sense of discomfort, especially into the back. There's nothing wrong with bending the knees or having the heels up off the mat. If that all feels fine, there's plenty of space into the hamstrings, by all means straighten the knees. That's absolutely fine. You're going to inhale, just bring that right foot up nice and high. So we'll just keep it square for today. You might find you can take it a little bit higher, but just look for that length through the right heel. So suddenly the weight is moved between 3 points of contact on the mat. Gently inhale, gently exhale. Just see if you can keep that nice and even. And then we're going to swing this right knee forwards, just far enough that it kisses onto that right elbow. Gently inhale, swing that up nice and high. Big inhale, big exhale. We're going to draw the right knee across this time. So it's just going to touch that left elbow. Then taking that up nice and high again, keep that square, so leading with that right heel as far as you can. Even effort, big inhale, big exhale. Release that foot back down. You might find you come through to that all fours, just through your cat-cows, or maybe you want a quick break from the arms. Just take the top of the head down, release, maybe the hands back behind you. So you've got an option. You can take the big toes together and knees as wide as you like, or you might like to just keep the knees kind of square, so the knees can be together, they might be hip width apart, but we're releasing forwards in that child's pose once again. Just see how that felt into the arms, into the core as well. So we always want that core to be nice and activated when we're swinging the leg through, otherwise it can start to work a little bit too strongly into the hands and arms. So once you're ready, you're going to gently inhale, bring the hands back out in front of you again. Start to lift up into all fours. From all fours, you're going to tuck the toes. Just swing the hips up nice and high, back into your downward facing dog. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Pedaling out through the feet, making sure again we're not crashing into the wrists, we're nice and firm into the hands. This time the left foot's going to come up nice and high. Feel that nice big stretch through the right hamstring, and then with the left foot as high as you like to, might just keep that straight, pressing through that left heel. We're going to swing left knee forwards, so left knee just kisses towards left elbow, and then just raise that up nice and high, back to where it was, three-legged dog, and then this time we're going to take left knee across the body. It's going to kiss to right elbow, and then we're going to swing that back up. Couple of breaths, just check we're nice and even into the right foot, both the hands, big inhale, big exhale. We're going to release, pedal through, couple of moments in downward facing dog, and then we're going to release, knees back down, and then draw big toes together, knees as wide as you like, coming back into that child's pose, and then just letting the top of the head release down onto the mat. You're looking for that broadening of the back body again, nice big deep breath, and notice how probably feels quite nice not to have the whole body weight down into the arms. You can have the arms forwards. You might even raise the wrists up, so you've got the fingertips on the mat. And then we just walk the fingertips as far forwards as you like to get a little bit of a stretch through the shoulders. Great, so we're just deepening the breath. Give yourself a couple of moments to breathe into the shoulders, breathe into the back body especially. Feel nice and heavy into the hips. And then you're going to release both the hands back down. We'll just raise the head up off the mat, and then we'll swing ourselves back through to all fours. And then we're going to flip on backwards. And then just bring ourselves so that we've got the back down on the mat, we've got the knees up nice and tall. And then we're just tucking the shoulder blades down the back. Feels like we can be nice and heavy into the top part of the back. The lower back's nice and flush with the mat as well. We can kind of release through the whole top body. So just to begin with, nice and slow, you're going to bring both the knees over to one side. So you might have the arms just releasing kind of by the hips. You might find you want to take them out a little bit wider. And then if it all feels okay into the neck and back, you're going to bring the gaze over towards the right shoulder as well. You might find that's not quite as comfortable into the neck, in which case just keep the gaze up straight. But we've got a really small, hopefully what feels like quite a subtle stretch into the lower back. And then it even touches upon the right side of the hip as well. So focusing on that breath again, just looking for a slight elongation of that exhale. 1 or 2 seconds. And then gently, gently, we'll bring the knees back through centre. And then we're going to bring them on to the right hand side. So exactly the same thing. Just feel like the right knees can be left and right knee can be as heavy as they like onto the right hand side. Just draw the top of the head to be a little bit taller, maybe the chin tucked slightly as well. And then with that, you might bring the gaze over towards the left hand side. So we've got that kind of full twist through the whole back, especially into that lower back is where we're focusing on. So give yourself a couple of breaths. See if you can maybe just draw that top left knee a little bit closer towards the bottom right knee. And then on that next inhale, you're going to bring the gaze back up towards the ceiling. And then nice and slow, we'll take the knees back up tall. You're going to bring the hands just so they're within reach of those heels. So the fingertips are just in or just out of reach of the heels. What that means is that we've got these heels underneath the knees. So sometimes they might have to move a little bit closer, sometimes they might move a little bit further away. But we're going to root down with the hands, just tuck the shoulder blades down the back, and then as slowly as you like, you're going to draw that tailbone up, start to lift both the hips up, and then kind of come up as high as you like. So we want this lift into the hips. Hands might be really rooted down, pressing firmly into the mat, going for a bridge pose, setu bandha. So we want this lift into the hips, coming up as high as you like really. So you might find that you can just draw the hips up a tiny bit higher, and that's comfortable into the lower back. You might find actually you just want to keep it really nice and low and comfortable. So we're always going for comfort whenever we're going for pain, and we just want a comfortable, it can feel quite deep sometimes, but you want a comfortable stretch. You don't want any sense of discomfort, and particularly if it hurts after you've done the stretch or after you've done the pose, it's usually a sign that you might have gone a little bit too far. So coming up as high as you like, and then as slowly as you can, you're going to exhale. Just let each vertebrae release down on the mat again, rolling nice and slowly, kind of working in perfect order from the top of the back to the bottom of the back. And then just giving yourself a couple of breaths, see how that felt into the back. That all felt absolutely fine. We'll come up again, we're going to lift the hips up nice and slowly. This time you might find you want to bring the hands up above the head, so reaching up. As you do that, you will find that a little bit of weight comes up onto the shoulders as well. And then breathing nice and deeply through the whole body. You're going to exhale, just start to draw the hands back slowly down to where they were. And then we'll start to release the back down onto the mat. And then feel nice and heavy into the tailbone. Just giving yourself a last couple of breaths. And then we're going to take the soles of the feet together, knees as wide as you like, so just in reclined cobbler's pose. Hands can stay on the mat. You might even just let the hands release onto the hips. Just have a couple of moments to see how insides of the legs feel. And then we're deepening the breath for a couple more moments. Looking really for that elongation of the exhale. So we want the breath out just to be 1 or 2 seconds longer. So we're not controlling, we're not holding the breath, nothing like that. Just breathe completely normally. But on your exhale, you just make it last 1 or 2 seconds. And then notice maybe those knees are releasing nice and slowly down towards the ground. We're not getting that sense of release by forcing them down at all. It's through the release of the insides of the legs. They just naturally release down. It's not any kind of forcing or any kind of strong effort. We're just completely releasing insides of the legs, and then the knees happen to release as we're just focusing on that breath. Perfect. So we're going to slowly bring the hands to the outside of the knees. Just draw the knees together. And then if there's any sense of discomfort into the lower back, just leave the knees exactly where they are. Just have the hands down either side. Otherwise, we'll start to extend 1 foot long, followed by the other foot. Have the palms face up towards the ceiling. Again, bring that attention to the breath. You might even have the gaze up towards the ceiling. You can close the eyes. And then have a scan through the body, so just up through the toes, the feet, each of the legs, knees, hips, lower back, around into the upper back. Very nice and heavy, down each of the shoulders, into the arms, elbows, forearms, hands, fingers and fingertips. And then just feeling nice and heavy as you take that big inhale into the chest. Nice big exhale. Feel that heaviness protrude up through the neck, jaw, tongue, face, eyes, ears, through to the crown and the top of the head. And then just give yourself 2 or 3 breaths, completely released, just lying down, no sense of effort, no muscles engaging, just noticing that breath move in and out of the body. Slowly, just starting to notice that breath as maybe you bring a bit of movement to the body. So moving through fingers, the toes, hands and feet. Maybe stretching through the heels, starting to move the hands a little bit more. Take the hands up above the head, just reach as far as you can, pressing through the heels. Big inhale, big exhale. You're going to draw one knee in towards you, followed by the other knee. Give yourself a little hug into the chest. Stay here as long as you like, so giving yourself a little hug in with both the knees. And whenever you're ready, you can start to roll to one side, press into the hands. You're looking for kind of way that we started, so in a comfortable seated position. Just rolling shoulders back and down, find that heaviness into the hips, the knees. Hopefully it's a little bit easier than when we first started. Take the hands into the chest. Just give yourself a couple of moments to thank yourself for practicing a little bit of yoga. And then take the biggest, deepest breath of all day. And a big exhale as well. Namaste. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hopefully that all made sense. Any questions at all, do let me know. But otherwise, I'll hopefully see you soon for another session on that. Thank you.